I know you're gonna dig this.
A funky city with a rich history, Dayton, Ohio. It became the Midwest epicenter in the 1970s. Ohio produced Fortune 500 companies, famous Olympians, aviation inventors, and music. Yes, funk music. Southwest Ohio is the birthplace and home of many of the great originators of the musical art form funk, yielding great talents such as Roger and Zapp, Heatwave, Ohio Players, Phazo, and Lakeside. Dayton's funky roots run deep, laying the foundation for the funk genre. Oh yes, Ohio is the heart of funk music, and Dayton is the nerve center. For a time, the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center, aka the TheFunkCenter, called the Fire Block District in Dayton, Ohio, home. Funk fans of all ages and nationalities pass through our doors. They hail from across the United States, the Netherlands, Scotland, Japan, and from England. Visitors learned about, experienced, and felt the history of this unique music genre. They also connected with an array of modern-day musicians whose sounds were birthed from funk. Most importantly, this display recognized the accomplishments of many Dayton citizens, the center's efforts to ensure they are never forgotten.
Well, good news for fans of funk. The city of Dayton has given approval for the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center to open. Organizers say they're beyond excited.
As you know, Dayton is the funk capital of the world, and we're so happy that the TheFunkCenter is here in Dayton, Ohio.
So many groups came out of the city of Dayton, Ohio. So many. And Dayton played a pivotal role in rap music.
Adam, we're at the main library, and this is where the celebration is going to get underway starting at 6:30, but you can see right now a lot of people are already starting to come in. Now, the Funk Hall of Fame has a permanent home now. It is a block down the street, but it can't hold all of the people here tonight who are going to be here to honor funk music.
The band Slave, the Ohio Players, Roger Troutman.
Just some of the bands from Dayton that made it big in the music world. The genre, funk music. Stopping by today before the opening, Senator Sherrod Brown and Dayton's mayor.
Really been impressed with the leadership of the Funk Museum and the leadership of the community really coming together to show something really quite beautiful.
Yet, as with all charitable situations, change must come. In March 2019, we moved from this donated space as redevelopment plans for the building commenced. We greatly appreciate the generous owner who allowed us to utilize this space.
New at 10, a museum celebrating Dayton's funk music roots needs a new home. Officials with the Dayton Funk Museum confirm the location is closed temporarily. They are currently based in the Fire Blocks district, and the building is being renovated. Its new owners are based out of Columbus. Museum director David Webb says because of renovations and the new month-to-month costs of their lease, they would not be able to afford to stay at the current location.
Our board and team of volunteers optimistically believed we'd easily relocate into a new space. But in 2019 and in 2020, the eruption of several unexpected assaults upended our community and our plans. On May 27, 2019, 18 devastating tornadoes ripped through the Dayton area, killing 8, leaving thousands homeless, leveling businesses, and causing about $1 billion worth of damage. On August 4th, a lone gunman opens fire in an Oregon District bar in Dayton's downtown, killing 9 and injuring 27 others before police kill him. Then in March 2020, the COVID-19 virus launches a pandemic across Dayton, the United States, and around the world, shutting down everything and sparking economic chaos. Gem City leaders in the health, business, education, and political arenas mobilized resources to reduce the health and financial impact of this deadly virus. Amid these painful events, the Funk Center continues presenting educational components, including the Funk Box, as well as outreach presentations to youth and seniors.
Funk legend Gary Mudbone Cooper, also that gentleman to my left, your right, the CEO of the Funk Music Hall of Fame, David Webb. Gentlemen, welcome to 5 on 2. Mudbone, it's a thrill to have you here. For those of you who may not know, he has worked over the years with people like Bootsy Collins, Mick Jagger, Bono, Prince, I mean, some of the really big names. Well, and Mudbone, let me ask you about the kids, because sadly so many schools have done away with music education, and part of what you guys are doing is to try to bring it to the kids.
Yes. Yeah, well, education, as we all know, is essential. It's very important to every human, really. And having a chance, especially these days and times, you know, to inspire children, you know, to maybe pick up a real instrument, you know, or to learn music, or also zero in and find out what is your skill. Maybe it's music, maybe you're the next engineer.
It's true.
So the thing is to inspire the kids to do something with their talent and ability.
What do you guys want the atmosphere to be like? What do you want the experience of this Hall of Fame to be?
More interactive where people can come and enjoy. Kid-friendly. We're working on education. We have a STEAM program going for educating the public's knowledge in the history of funk music, on the genre of funk music, the collective of soul and rhythm. And that's what we're doing.
The Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center and Teslit Studio collaborated on a vision of preserving the funk music legacy. The team highlighted Dayton's history, contribution, and the origination of the funk music genre. The goal, to gather this vast national treasure and preserve it in a digital funk box that will become an educational outreach to today's youth. This digital funk box now preserves Dayton's special place in the history of this genre, and it ensures future generations will be exposed to the vibrant rhythms of this dynamic music. The Funk Center's mission will expand to reflect its deep desire to provide a unique experience for all, with a special emphasis on fostering music art appreciation in the lives of children. Youth of all ages will receive opportunities to personally develop as they learn to play instruments, build critical thinking skills, expand their creativity, and exercise self-discipline. The music education modality will encourage children to be free, to imagine, to create, and welcome the arts into their lives.
My name is David Webb. I'm the President and CEO of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center. One of our goals and missions is to educate our public's knowledge in the history of funk music on the one, as James Brown says, the genre of funk music collective of soul and rhythm, geared for young people, Generation Y, Z, X, the millennials, the baby boomer, ZX. Did I miss somebody? Did I miss anybody? Y? Is it Z? What is it? I think I covered it, but it's all about music. Did you know Dayton, Ohio is the most sampled city in the world for funk music? You heard of the Ohio Players? Heatwave, Sun, Lakeside. A lot of these hip hop artists sample the groups out of Dayton, Ohio. We're going to take you on this journey.
We all know the importance of music and education, and sometimes we think of music and we think about, you know, melodies that maybe we're not that excited about, and, you know, jazz, which is wonderful, and all these things. But if you know the funk like I know Trotwood people do, then we are really, really excited about what's going to happen today.
I took a journey a couple of years ago. I did a TED Talk. Y'all know what a TED Talk is? I did a TED Talk. And it inspired me to tell you how funk music influenced my life as a young kid growing up. Evidence demonstrates that children with a high level of art participation outperform our poor students by virtually every measure. This study, Champion of Change, found much evidence that learning in the arts helped develop habits that will support other disciplinaries, and it can often reach at-risk students when other disciplinaries cannot. The arts provides a young people with authentic learning experience that engages their minds, their hearts, their bodies. Art education helps students to learn. It can enhance creativity, self-discipline, and the skills and confidence necessary to meet the challenging encounters in my life as a student and as an adult.
All right, so this is the Funk Box. We started building the Funk Box, geez, I don't know how long. It was probably about 3-4 months it took to build it. Yep. Wow. It took quite a while to build it. So it's run by software that we created. So all of this software was created for the TheFunkCenter. We had to write it from the ground up. This is all custom. It's not like we went to the store and just bought it. And it's made up of a lot of high-tech components. There's actually 3 computers inside here. And all of these computers are networked together through a router. So each one of these sensors is plugged into a computer, and all those computers are talking together. And then the software is taking all of that information from the sensors and creating the experience. The first part of the Funk Box software goes through the history of funk music. So it talks about, we start with what is funk music, how do you define funk music, and if you talk to a lot of people who are funk musicians and funk artists, they'll probably all give you different answers. But we can all agree that it's all based on sort of a polyrhythmic structure. So it's not just, one simple rhythm that goes throughout the whole song. It's multiple rhythms coming together, which is very unique. It's a very unique type of music because the guitar is creating a rhythm, the bass is creating a rhythm, the drums are creating a rhythm, and all of these rhythms are working together, which is a really complicated thing to do in music. James Brown music really was one of the first to use this polyrhythmic structure. So the bass was a rhythm, the drums provided a rhythm. And that was the sort of innovation that James Brown brought to the music. And it was really a celebratory type of music. Oops. It wants to know that I'm still here. So it was a celebration of black identity in the 1960s and really did tie in to the civil rights movement. So it wasn't a sad music, it was a celebration. This is in the 1970s, a lot of bands came out of Ohio, as we talked about. Zap, Lakeside, Ohio Players. All of these bands came from Dayton, Ohio. They were born and raised here. They attended the same schools that you guys go to. They were in the music programs in those schools. They played in marching bands, sang in the choir. And they created a really unique sound. A lot of people that we talked to, Ricky Vincent, Scott Brown, a lot of the folks who we dug deeper on this basically said that a lot of this music was influenced by their connection to the community. And it really created a really unique sound in that they kind of referred to it as the big band. This is when horns and guitars and a lot of new instrumentation was brought in. So it wasn't everything. The world of the Ohio sound did not revolve around vocals. It did, however, rely heavily on instrumentation. The hip hop movement was really driven by samples. So this is when a lot of bands started to take little snippets of songs and put them together and rap over them and create what ultimately was called hip hop music, which then evolved into rap. So a lot of those samples came from James Brown initially, but they also came from a lot of bands that came out of Dayton, Ohio. See the bar swing. There you go. Great job. You did it. Yeah, so when you see that change, you change it. Good job. Now you can go backwards by swiping this way, or you can go forwards by swiping this way. See how it went back?
Meanwhile, funk fans from around the world still extend warm outpourings of support, confirming the TheFunkCenter must find a new home. We need between 5,000 and 10,000 square feet, providing ample room for patrons to enjoy the museum as well as space for a variety of programs and activities. The TheFunkCenter is a nonprofit. Our greatest asset? Our dedicated volunteers, all committed to establishing a new home for the TheFunkCenter. Our endeavors require raising capital to secure a space, to pay for a working staff, to pay for day-to-day expenses, and for program development. At the same time, our community partnerships are priceless and vital in keeping Dayton's role in funk music in the spotlight. On November 6, 2021, we collaborated with the Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra, with the University of Dayton Music Department, and with the Dayton Funk All-Stars to present the Rockin' Orchestra series on funk music. A great success and an exciting venture. We need your help to extend and elevate Dayton's funk music legacy. Donate today at funkcenter.org and help us keep this vibrant rhythm pulsating. The Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center touches all lives. It honors the amazing legends of funk music. Its education programs cultivate a deep appreciation for this genre, and it responds to community needs, such as helping families recover from the impact of deadly tornadoes. The Funk Center is a vital part of the Dayton metropolitan community. Musicians from all around the world support and endorse the work of this distinguished organization, as well as state and local politicians and regional media outlets. The Funk Center is an important asset to our community, and it highlights the role the Dayton metropolitan area plays in the international acclaim of funk. It can once again be an exciting destination spot in the Miami Valley with your help. Thank you for continuing to support the phenomenal efforts of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center.
David Webb, okay? David, he's a friend of ours. We've known David throughout the years, throughout the decades. We had somewhat of a relationship. And we did a few things together here, I guess over the past year, and he just started to bring it up, and he started to send me emails. And then basically he asked me about, how many times? 400 times? Maybe 500 times. So now I know about it. I learned about it through David Webb and his non-exhaustive efforts.
Very well put. I learned about the museum from the efforts of David Webb. I mean, as my brother said, he called and emailed us a few times.
Yes.
And then he invited me to look at some things, and I tell you, I just pushed him away. And then finally, I took a look at him, and I found out that what he was doing with the kids and the effort he was putting forth to make sure that kids had instruments, and for all of the work that he does in the community, and how he making everybody aware of where the funk music, if you will, started.
We gonna donate whatever we can, whether it's equipment, whether it's costumes, whether it's other friends that we know they got that shit. We gonna be down for doing the bone. Talk me into, I hear this all the time. Somebody starting something funky.
Yeah.
But he's my man. I listen to certain people. I know when they singing something, I'm supposed to get my part. And that's all he had to do is say that. I know the rest of it. I know why I'm supposed to do it. But if you believe it's ready for us to do, then I'm here to do that.
Till the next time, let's keep it funky, funky, funky.